Wakey, wakey, the Kellogg's football camps are here, all over the country. It's game on. Learn new skills, make new friends, and have loads of fun at your local clubs. Grab your boots for a summer of football at the Kellogg's football camps. Parents, buy a promotional pack of Cocoa Pops, Rice Krispies, and cornflakes before the end of June to claim a free day. Before we get into this episode, a massive happy birthday and a huge shout out to a loyal Football for Kids listener, Harrison, who will be 10 years old on the 13th of July. Harrison is a Liverpool fan and he listens to the podcast every single night. In fact, he goes to sleep listening to the podcast every single night. So, a massive shout out to you, Harrison, and thank you for being such a good listener of the Football for Kids podcast. To the Football for Kids podcast with me, Darren Rees. In this episode, we're going to do a bit of looking back at yet another Euros tournament. Before we do that, I have a request. On Sunday evening, when England and Spain battle it out to win the Euros, no matter what the outcome is, whether it's an England win or a Spain win, I want your reactions. I want your reactions about the result. I want your reactions about the tournament as a whole. I want your reactions about everything to do with the Euros and the Euros final. If you're up for it, please ask an adult to record you on a voice note or on a voice memo and email it to footballforkidspodcast@gmail.com as soon as you have recorded it. Chuck anything you like into your reaction, as long as it's Euros related. I need as many of you to get involved as possible, and if enough of you do, then I'll be making a Euro Finals reaction podcast which you could feature in. So, Euro 2024. It started on June 14th and it all kicked off with the host Germany playing Scotland. The Scots gave it everything they could, but a pumped up Germany won the match 5-1. It was Rudiger who actually scored Scotland's goal, and it was the first of many own goals in the tournament. There have been plenty of them. The Scots battled it out with Switzerland and then Hungary, but they couldn't quite get enough points to progress to the knockouts. I was lucky enough to be in Germany a couple of weeks for the Euros, and I've got to tell you, I had a party with the Scotland fans, who were by far the best fans of the tournament, because quite simply, was a clip which I recorded when I was in a bar having a party and having a beer with all the Scotland fans who were there enjoying themselves, having such a good time. And that is exactly what football is about. Over in Group B, the Spanish were on fire, beating Croatia 3-0, and then they beat Italy 1-0, and then they beat Albania 1-0, and they finished up top of their group and looked an extremely dangerous side. Croatia, one of the top teams in the tournament, went crashing out in the group stages, which was quite a shock. And over in Group D, France finished second in their group, and they played probably the most boring football they've played in years. Kylian Mbappe couldn't seem to get out of first gear, and he only ended up scoring one goal in normal time. Another top player who didn't seem to come alive was the great Polish player Robert Lewandowski, and Poland didn't manage a win in this year's tournament. Portugal, well, they finished top of their group and they managed to make it all the way to the quarter-finals, but they were knocked out by France on penalties. That wasn't the headline story though. Of course, it was Portugal's main man, Cristiano Ronaldo, who broke all sorts of records, but just couldn't score in the 90 minutes. He clipped the crossbar, he brushed the post, he smashed the goalkeeper with seriously hard free kicks, and much more. But he just couldn't put the ball into the back of a net in 90 minutes. Georgia? Well, they certainly shocked the world with their unbelievable energy, and they made it to the knockout stages, but they met the beast Spain in the round of 16 and were beaten 4-1. However, not a bad Euros for Georgia. Penalties, like in all Euros tournaments, was a bit of a theme in this Euro tournament, but it was Portugal's Diogo Costa who stole the show, becoming the first goalkeeper in history to save all 3 penalties in a penalty shootout when he did so against Slovenia and sent them home. Another theme in this tournament was last-minute winners. Spain scored themselves one of those in the 119th minute to knock Germany, the hosts, out. A brutal exit for Germany. England had a couple of those last-minute goals themselves, and probably the most memorable one in my lifetime is now the goal which Ollie Watkins scored, which was an absolute cracker from the tightest of angles to send England through to their second Euros final. Lamine Yamal made history as the youngest player to both play and score in a Euros tournament at the grand age of 16, and Pepe made history as the oldest player to play in a Euros tournament. Ronaldo, well, he extended his record of playing in the most Euro tournaments. Luka Modric, he became the oldest player to score a goal at the European Championships at 38 years old. And the game between the Czech Republic and Turkey broke records for different reasons. This time, it was for the most cards shown. And in that game, there were 19 cards shown. That is a lot of cards. In my personal opinion, this Euros wasn't the greatest Euros ever, but it certainly wasn't a bad one. England and Spain will finish the tournament off on Sunday the 14th of June, and one of them will be crowned as the European champions. Now, before we go, I'd like to finish with this. Football is one of the only things on earth where everything goes out the window and people come together, no matter where they're from or what their beliefs are. Thousands of people from all corners of Europe have a laugh with each other, get on, talk about the thing which they love, and have a good time. There's always a few who try to ruin it, but like always, they're outnumbered by the many good people. You won't actually hear the theme music at the end of this episode. Instead, you're going to hear the sound of England and Netherlands fans singing together, because that is what football does, and that is exactly what it's about. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And remember that Kellogg's have amazing football camps taking place throughout the school summer holidays all across the country. In fact, they're in 73 different locations across the UK. The camps are for 5 to 15-year-olds and are in partnership with the EFL, Manchester City, Celtic and Rangers with FA-approved coaches. To sign up today, Grab a promotional pack of Kellogg's cereal, find the camp code and redeem a free place at www.kellogg'sfc.com. Terms and conditions apply.